Next, we will discuss biomolecules. Biomolecules are biologically important molecules, mainly found in plants. And the first class is carbohydrates. Now, the name carbohydrate means hydrates of carbon. Most of the carbohydrates can be represented by the general formula CxH2OY times. For example, glucose having the formula C6H12O6 can be represented by C6H2O6 times. And then sucrose having the formula C12H22O11 can be represented by C12H2O11 times. A support to this assumption is that glucose and sucrose and many other carbohydrates are decomposed by concentrated sulfuric acid to carbon and water. Now, this process is called charring, and concentrated sulfuric acid is a dehydrating agent. Dehydration means combining H and O atoms in the ratio 2:1 and form water from a compound. So, C12H22O11 gives 12 carbon atoms and 11 H2O molecules with concentrated sulfuric acid. Now, concentrated sulfuric acid is a dehydrating agent. It absorbs this water and we get carbon as a precipitate. But this assumption that carbohydrates are hydrates of carbon is not correct, it is wrong. An example is rhamnose, 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 the formula C6H12O5. It's a carbohydrate and does not fit in the formula CxH2OY times. And again, acetic acid, which is not a carbohydrate, fits in the formula CxH2OY times, that is C2H2O twice, and it is a carboxylic acid, not a carbohydrate. Now, carbohydrates contain more than one OH groups, hence they are called polyhydroxy or polyhydric compounds. Most of them are optically active, and they also possess an aldehydic or a ketonic group. For example, glucose contains an aldehydic group, whereas fructose, which is the sugar present in honey, is a keto compound. Now, polymeric compounds which on hydrolysis with dilute acid can give simple molecules which are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones are also classified as carbohydrates. Now, such polymeric compounds, example is a starch, and again cellulose are polymeric compounds which on hydrolysis can give simple molecules which are polyhydroxy compounds and again optically active and contain either aldehydic or a ketonic group. So, carbohydrate may be defined as optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or compounds which produce such units on hydrolysis. Now, some carbohydrates are sweet in taste and are also called sugars, and in Greek language the term saccharon, SAKCHARON, stands for sugar, and carbohydrates are also called saccharides, SACCHARIDES, saccharides. Now, classification. The first classification is monosaccharides, that is carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed to give similar units of polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. Now, example for monosaccharides is glucose and fructose. Then comes oligosaccharides, OLIGO saccharides. Oligosaccharides give 2 to 10 monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis. For example, sucrose is an oligosaccharide, cane sugar is an oligosaccharide, which can give a molecule of glucose and fructose on hydrolysis. Then comes lactose, the sugar present in milk; maltose, the sugar present in malt extracts. Then the third classification is polysaccharides. Now polysaccharides are polymers of monosaccharides. They give a large number of monosaccharides on hydrolysis. For example, starch and cellulose are polysaccharides. There are other methods of classification. Now the second method of classification, that is into reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. Now reducing sugars will reduce filling solution and tolerance reagents. Now glucose is a reducing sugar, and non-reducing sugars will not reduce tolerance reagents and filling solution. Sucrose is an example which will not reduce tolerance reagent or a filling solution. Now monosaccharides are further classified on the basis of the number of carbon atoms and the functional group present in them. If a monosaccharide contains an aldehyde group, it is called an aldose, and if it contains a keto group, it is called a ketose. Number of carbon atoms present in the monosaccharide is also included in the name. For example, tetrose contain 4 carbon atoms, and if it is an aldehydic sugar, it is called aldotetrose. And again, ketotetroses are there, ketohexoses are there, and carbohydrate, that is glucose, is an aldohexose, whereas fructose, it is a ketohexose, contains 6 carbon atoms. Now glucose is prepared by boiling sucrose with dilute sulfuric acid, C12H22O11, that is a formula for sucrose, plus H2O. Then hydrolysis gives a molecule of glucose, C6H12O6, plus a molecule of fructose, C6H12O6. Now glucose and fructose are isomeric in the sense they have the same formula, but glucose is an aldohexose while fructose is a ketohexose. Now commercial method for preparing glucose by boiling starch, which is a polymer of glucose, with the dilute sulfuric acid at 393 Kelvin under pressure. Now C6H10O5 is the empirical formula for starch, n times, where n is a very large number, plus NH2O gives NC6H12O6. So n is a very large number because starch is a polymer. Now coming to the structure of glucose. You are given a compound whose formula is unknown, whose structure is unknown. Then if you are given an unknown compound, you first find out its molecular formula. Now molecular formula of a compound can be found by determining the percentages of various elements in a molecule, and then finding out its molecular weight or molecular mass, and then we can find out its molecular formula. So for glucose, the molecular formula was found to be C6H12O6. Then a second experiment. So structure of glucose is shown here, CHO group, then HOH, OHH, HOH, HOH, and lastly CS2OH. We start numbering from the CHO group, that is a main functional group having higher preference over OH. And so CHO group is given number 1, the carbon of CHO is given number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 6th carbon is a primary alcoholic group. Then it can be abbreviated as CHO, then CHOH, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, then finally CS2OH. Now on prolonged heating with the hydroiodic acid, N-hexane is formed. Now action of hydroiodic acid on an alcohol, ROH, First of all, a molecule of HOH is removed by reaction between alcohol and hydroiodic acid. Then we get the corresponding alkyl halide. Then this alkyl halide is further reduced by hydrogen iodide because HI is a reducing agent. Then a molecule of I2 is removed and we get RH, so RH plus I2. So that the net change is OH is replaced by H. Now formation of NH chain shows that there are 6 carbon atoms in a chain in glucose. Now let us see a ring structure for glucose. This is called an open chain structure. While this open chain structure can undergo a hemiacetal formation so as to get a 6-membered ring structure. Now these bonds lie in the same plane or in the plane of the paper. Now H and OH will lie above or below the plane according to the configuration of these carbons. Now the carbon 2, 3, 4 and 5 are asymmetric carbons. So to come to the ring structure of glucose by hemiacetal formation. What is hemiacetal formation? The CO group in an aldehyde reacts with the alcohol, and there is an addition reaction. CO bond ionizes like this, and H positive goes to this oxygen and OR goes to this carbon. So that is called a hemiacetal. Now glucose can form a ring structure by hemiacetal formation between CHO and OH connected to 5th carbon. Now for proper orientation of CHO and OH, the OH should come at the position of CH2OH. So first we can interchange this OH and CH2OH. Now then CH2OH comes here and OH comes here. So this is the proper orientation so that this CHO can easily react with this OH to undergo hemiacetal formation. Now we have interchanged a pair of groups, then the configuration of the molecule will change, the optical properties of the molecule will change because we have interchanged a group which is not asymmetric but another group which is connected to an asymmetric carbon. So definitely the optical properties of the molecule will change, the configuration will change. To retain the configuration, you make one more interchange, this H and CH2OH. So CH2OH comes here and H comes here. So when two interchanges are made, we get the same configuration. Now the CHO and OH are properly oriented to undergo hemiacetal formation, so that the CO of aldehyde group ionizes and OH also ionizes. H positive goes to oxygen and this O negative connects to this carbon and we get a CO bond and an OH group. So a CO bond and an OH group are formed on carbon 1. So this is carbon 1, and on carbon 1 the double bond O becomes an OH here, and then this carbon is connected to oxygen by this bond. This curved line indicates a bond. We cannot use a straight line bond because that will cause difficulty in drawing the picture. Now this C is connected to O and this O is connected to C. Now this C, that is aldehyde carbon, connected to O, and then this OHO, this O is connected to the 5th carbon. So there is a bond between the 5th carbon and oxygen. And this curved line again indicates a bond like this, but to make the picture simple we have drawn like this. Now there, this CH group can rotate around this single bond, so that this OH may be inside this ring portion or outside this ring formation. Now this OH is formed by the carbonyl group of aldehyde group in glucose, and this OH can be formed either on this side, or this group can rotate so that C double bond O comes here and CH bond comes here, and the OH can be occupied by this position, so it can be COH or COH. So a second configuration is possible, and so 1 and 2 are the configurations of the ring structure. Now then, we can simplify this picture. Now how many atoms are present in the ring? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 6th oxygen. So a ring structure containing 6 atoms, in which 5 atoms are carbon atoms and 1 atom is oxygen. So we draw a ring like this, a hexagonal shaped ring with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 atoms are carbons of the ring, and the 6th atom is an oxygen. Now the oxygen is written purposely here because definitely this carbon 1 is the aldehyde carbon, and the OH is formed from the aldehyde group, and this is the reactive group of this molecule, most reactive group of this molecule. Now this particular OH is also called glycosidic OH, glycosidic hydroxy group. Glycosidic hydroxy group. Now in actual glucose solution, the ring structure and open chain form are in equilibrium. Now the arrangement of OH and H and CH2OH groups in this structure. Now here all groups which come inside this ring system are written below. So on carbon 1 you write OH here, that is below the plane of the hexagonal ring structure. On carbon 2 also the OH is coming inside this particular ring structure, and that OH is written below. And in carbon 3, on carbon 3 the H is inside, so it is written below, and OH is outside, so it is written in the upward direction of the bond. On carbon 4 the OH is inside this ring system, and so the OH is written in the downward position and H in the upward position. And then CH2OH, which is outside this ring particular ring part, is written at the top of the bond and H at the bottom. So that is a trick for drawing this ring structure. Now this ring structure will be useful when we study sucrose, maltose, lactose, etc. Now that is how the ring structure is drawn. Now to represent reactions, this structure is convenient where the oxygen atom is written here, because the reactive part I told you that this glycosidic hydroxy group is the most reactive part, and this ring structure can be in equilibrium with the open ring structure, where this OH bond will be shifting in this direction and this bond will be shifting in this direction, and this H will be connecting to this oxygen so that the ring is opened, and there is equilibrium between the open chain form and the ring form, so that a solution of glucose will contain both open chain and ring structures. Now glucose reacts with the hydroxylamine NH2OH and forms an oxide, that is a specific reaction of aldehydes and ketones. Now it reduces Tollens reagent and Fehling solution. So an aldehyde group may be present, and the reaction, simple reaction between aldehyde and Tollens reagent, which may be simply represented as Ag2O. This oxygen is taken up by CHO to give RCOOH plus 2Ag. Now Fehling solution, we can consider it as a solution of cupric oxide CuO. So that one of the oxygen atom is taken up by CHO to COOH. So one oxygen is remaining, two copper atoms are remaining. So Cu2O, and this is a red precipitate. So an aldehyde group may be present in glucose. Now glucose is oxidized by bromine water to a 6-carbon carboxylic acid called gluconic acid. Now the reaction with the bromine water, CHO is getting oxidized to COOH, and then the remaining parts are intact, and this is called gluconic acid. And before that, we shall discuss the action of hydroiodic acid on glucose, and we have to depend on the ring structure. That is why I previously told you to get an idea regarding the ring structure of glucose. Now here the net reaction is OH is replaced by H in hydroiodic acid. H is donated to the CH2 group and OH is taken up. So in place of OH, H comes, that is reduction. So hydroiodic acid is a reducing agent that reduces the CH2OH group to CH3, so that this OH is replaced by H, 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 and then we get this particular structure. Again this is attacked by hydroiodic acid, so that an H comes here and I comes here, so OH and CH2I are formed. Then again further reaction with hydroiodic acid, this OH is replaced by, first of all it is replaced by I, then further reaction with HI, I2 is removed and H comes in contact with CH, so that this becomes a CH2 group. So this CH2I also will react with HI. A molecule of I2 is removed, so that H comes in contact with CH2. So we get ultimately CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, that is normal hexane. So that is the action of hydroiodic acid. And to explain the action of hydroiodic acid, we have to depend upon this ring structure. Now, formation of gluconic acid with the 6 carbon atoms indicate that glucose is an aldehyde, because if it were a ketone, then we get a mixture of acids with a lower number of carbon atoms, phonoxidation, and mild oxidizing agent cannot oxidize a ketonic group, but mild oxidizing agent can oxidize an aldehyde group easily. Bromine water is a mild oxidizing agent. 2HBr is removed and this oxygen atom combines with the CHO to produce COOH, and this is called gluconic acid. Now acetylation of glucose with acetic anhydride gives a pentaacetate. Hence there are 5 OH groups connected to different carbon atoms. 5 OH groups connected to different carbon atoms. The reaction between acetic anhydride, here acetic anhydride is written as ACOAC, and AC stands for a CH3CO group, so that it is CH3CO or COCH3, And OH group reacts with acetic anhydride. ACO combines with H to remove HOAC, that is CH3COOH, and we get ROAC, that is acetylation product. So there are 5 OH groups in glucose, so that all the OH groups are acetylated to OAC, and we get this pentaacetate. Remember that we don't have the actual structure of glucose, so we cannot write this equation here. We can write only such an equation. Now, on oxidation with HNO3, a dicarboxylic acid called a saccaric acid, SACCHARIC, saccaric acid with 6 carbon atoms is formed. Hence, there is a CH2OH group, because glucose already contains a CHO group. There is evidence for that. And then another carboxylic acid group means it must be formed from a primary alcoholic group, a CH2OH group. So a CH2OH group is present in glucose, and all OH groups are connected to different carbon atoms, because if we connect 2 OH groups to the same carbon, the system is unstable. We have seen earlier there is electronic repulsion between the lone pairs of oxygen atoms. So one OH group will be removed as a molecule of water, and we get C double bond OH. So more than one OH group cannot be connected to the same carbon. So all the hydroxy groups are connected to different carbon atoms, and hence the equation may be written as CHO, CHOH 4 times, CH2OH, HNO3, COOH, CHOH 4 times, and this primary alcoholic group is oxidized by this medium oxidizing agent. It is not mild but medium oxidizing agent, which can oxidize CH2OH to COOH, a dicarboxylic acid containing 6 carbon atoms, and this is called saccaric acid. Saccaric acid. So all these informations reveal that there are 6 carbon atoms in glucose, and there is a CHO group, and again there is a primary alcoholic group, and there, since it forms a pentaacetate, apart from the primary alcoholic group, we should have 4 OH groups connected to 4 different carbon atoms, and hence we can write the structure of glucose as CHO connected to CHOH, CHOH, then CH, what should be written upwards, I am writing it here, then CHOH, then CH2OH. So better write OH here. Now the thing is that we don't know the configurations of the asymmetric carbon atoms. That we will see later. Thank you.